All right, guys, so I'm going to walk you through how to take proper focus notes, and we're also going to talk about the note interactions, and I'm going to give you some examples. So to start off with, I need to have my notebook, okay, and it's a dedicated notebook just for social studies, okay? We don't want to have math, science in a social studies notebook. It's just social studies. Then I have my pencil. I've got my 5 different colored pens, and I have my ruler. So these are the things that we want to have to take really good notes. Okay. So I'm going to show you an example of some notes of mine, and hopefully this will give you an idea of how to go about taking focus notes as well as how to do the interactions. Okay. So to start with, I set up my focus notes the way they're supposed to be set up. So I have the line, right? And I've given myself plenty of room so that I can do my note interactions. So a good rule of thumb is to take your ruler. You can line up your ruler with the red line, and that should be about enough. Now, those of you that write maybe a little bit bigger, give yourself a little bit more room. These note interactions are going to be really important, okay? And once you learn how to do them, you're going to love them. Okay, so you'll see I have my topic, which is Jamestown 1607, and I have my essential question. So how did environmental factors, settlers training, and relations with Native Americans lead to the starving time? Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to take my notes. All right. And I'm going to go through and I'm taking notes on the King's Charter. You'll notice that when I'm taking the notes, there's no complete sentences here. Don't waste. I mean, my hand cramped up just doing this one page. So it's difficult to do like an entire day of notes. So do yourself a favor, and you don't need to write complete sentences. You just need to make sure you've got them organized to where here I have King's Charter. It was the Virginia Company Charter, and everything that goes along with King's Charter is underneath, and you'll see I indented in. Then when I go on to my next section, I've actually come back over here again, and I have skipped a line in between just in case. So I've come over here again with the facts, and then I have the facts of the King's Charter and of Jamestown. And then again, I'm going to come over here, and now I have the next section of my notes, and everything under this has to do with the governing council. So you need to make sure, and maybe you guys can't see that, but you need to make sure that you are going about this by dividing up, right? So then governing council is going to be down here. Okay, again, they are not complete sentences. They're just little blurbs. I know what I'm talking about, and you should too when you're doing these notes. So don't waste all your energy on doing complete sentences. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at some examples of how I would do my note interactions with the colors that we've talked about. Okay, it might not show up as clear for you in terms of what color it is, but I will be talking you through it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a vocab. Okay, so maybe I was required to do vocab. That is in green. Here's my vocab word, the word charter. I've underlined it in green in my notes. So I know here, 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 this is all connected. You'll also notice that I did it right next to what I'm interacting with. I didn't put it over here. I didn't put it down here. I put it right next to it. Okay, and sometimes you might not be able to be right across from it, and that's fine, but get as close as you can. So my vocab word is charter, and I've come up with my own definition of what a charter is: written permission to settle an area in the name of the king. All right. So that's my vocab. It is green. Then I'm going to move down to my next one, and my next one is going to be a significant item. You can just abbreviate it SI. Significant item is going to be in red. So I have also underlined in red in my notes, first permanent is what I've underlined, because my significant item is that Jamestown is the first permanent English settlement. Okay, because I know that when I was doing these notes, my teacher really emphasized that word permanent, and also mentioned that and I also learned that there were other colonies that came before it and did not survive. So again, that's my significant item, and it is in red, and I'm doing it right across from what I'm interacting with. Okay. Then I'm going to move down, and this one, inferences are difficult for students. So I've given you an example of how you would make an inference. So you'll see over here in purple, it says inference. Then over here, it says 2 to 3 months longer. because my inference is that they were not well prepared for the journey. Okay, because I can make that inference because it was longer than they had anticipated. Therefore, they probably didn't pack enough stuff, food, and that kind of thing for that long of a journey. So that's an inference. It's not called out directly in my notes, but I can infer that. Then finally, I have a connection that I did, and connections are in blue. And my connection I'm making is to the governing council. And my connection in blue is we have a president and a Congress similar to Jamestown. So I'm connecting this to our modern day. So this gives you a couple of examples of how you would do note interactions. So hopefully this quick video helps you. Again, you really want to make sure that your notes are organized, that you're abbreviating as much as you can for the sake of cramping up your hand. And you really, those note interactions are going to be incredibly important and valuable for you when it comes time to take a big test.